Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. I'm your host, Walter, and we're glad you're joining us today. We're starting off with a complex and sensitive topic that's been making headlines lately: the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In recent days, there have been renewed calls for recognition of Palestinian statehood, with some arguing that it's a necessary step towards achieving peace in the region. Others, however, claim that such recognition would be premature and could even reward terrorism. To give you a better understanding of the issue, let's take a look at some recent developments. The European Union has been considering suspending its association agreement with Israel due to concerns over human rights abuses and war crimes in Gaza. Meanwhile, in the United States, some lawmakers have introduced resolutions calling for recognition of Palestinian statehood, while others have expressed opposition to such moves. It's a highly contentious issue, with passionate arguments on both sides. Some argue that recognizing Palestine as a sovereign state could help to create a more level playing field in negotiations with Israel and provide a sense of hope and dignity for the Palestinian people. Others counter that such recognition would be a reward for terrorism and would undermine the security of Israel. We want to hear from you, our listeners. What do you think about the issue of Palestinian statehood? Do you think it's a necessary step towards peace, or do you have concerns about the potential consequences? Share your thoughts with us on social media using the hashtag #ConcreteBlock. We'll be exploring this topic in more depth throughout the show, with expert analysis and insights from both sides of the debate. We're committed to providing a fair and balanced discussion without taking a biased stance or promoting any particular agenda. So, stay tuned as we delve into the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and examine the arguments for and against recognizing Palestinian statehood. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're glad you're still with us as we dive into our middle segment. Today, we're taking a closer look at some concerning developments in international relations and defense. A recent incident involving Russian drones entering NATO territory has raised eyebrows and sparked debate about the alliance's readiness to respond to potential threats. Now, it's essential to acknowledge that the situation is complex and multiple factors are at play. On one hand, Russia's actions can be seen as a probe or a test of NATO's defenses, which could have significant implications for global security. On the other hand, some experts argue that the alliance's response was swift and effective, demonstrating its unity and credibility. However, as we shift our focus to Canada's role in this scenario, it becomes clear that there are legitimate concerns about the country's preparedness to address Russian incursions in the Arctic region. With a vast and sparsely populated territory, Canada faces unique challenges in defending its sovereignty and interests in the north. According to recent reports, Canada lacks the necessary capabilities to credibly deter Russian probing and infiltration in the Canadian Arctic. This vulnerability is exacerbated by the country's limited investment in defense infrastructure and technology, which has left it relying on outdated systems and inadequate resources. To address this issue, experts recommend a range of solutions, including the development of hybrid air fleets, multi-domain surveillance networks, and mobile missile units. Additionally, there are proposals to acquire advanced aircraft, such as the E-7 Wedgetail, and to invest in space-based Arctic domain awareness capabilities. It's crucial to note that these concerns are not solely the responsibility of Canada, but rather a collective challenge for the NATO alliance as a whole. As the organization works to strengthen its defenses and address emerging threats, it's essential to consider the unique needs and vulnerabilities of each member state. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's clear that a balanced and nuanced approach is necessary to ensure the security and stability of the region. By investing in defense capabilities, fostering international cooperation, and promoting diplomacy, we can work towards a more secure and prosperous future for all nations involved. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're wrapping up today's show with a look at the latest developments in international news. As we've been following, tensions between Ukraine and Russia continue to escalate, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warning senior Russian officials that sites in Russia could soon be hit if the war doesn't come to an end. According to recent statements, Zelensky has emphasized that his country's military is capable of targeting locations deep within Russian territory and that civilians won't be targeted. This comes after Ukraine's allies lifted range restrictions on the weapons they provide to Kyiv, allowing for more flexibility in their defense strategy. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has been growing increasingly impatient with Russian leader Vladimir Putin over the lack of progress on a ceasefire. In a notable shift, Trump recently suggested that Ukraine could regain all of the land it has lost to Russia since 2014, marking a change from his previous stance. It's also worth noting that Trump and Zelensky have had their differences in the past, but their relations seem to be improving as the U.S. leader's stance towards Putin hardens. The situation remains complex and multifaceted, with various international players involved and competing interests at play. To provide some context, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been trying to facilitate negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, while other countries like Germany and France have been providing support to Ukraine in its defense efforts. It's a delicate balance of power, and the outcome is far from certain. As we close out today's show, it's essential to remember that the situation in Ukraine is fluid and can change rapidly. We'll continue to monitor developments and provide updates as more information becomes available. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.